was in the Examiner after he'd scored a goal, and it was like, and just to hear the fans singing my name to Daddy Cool gets me every time. Like, what a legend.
That's good, to be fair.
Skipper Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
It's the international break, but we break for no one. Hello and welcome to the special Andy Takes That Chance podcast. This is the International Town 11 episode. I'm Brady Frost and I'm joined by Tom Bradshaw and Joe Scott. How are you both?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Brady.
Yeah, how you doing, good. Brady? You all right?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, have we got over Saturday or is it too soon still?
Yeah, I'm over it. I've already had this discussion with my mate this week. Like, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
We're not worrying about relegation for once.
Yeah.
Come on.
We've still got a cushion as well. We're fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, we can stop talking about previews because, this is a little bit of a special one during the international break. Tom, actually, this was your idea to cheer people up. So do you want to tell us a little bit about it? I can explain it afterwards, but you could tell me as you so eloquently told me on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Well, if you've got a better explanation than me, Brady, maybe you just say it. But basically, I thought international break, we just fancied a pod still. So I thought, why don't we pick our all-time favourite international town 11, but you can only pick one player from each nationality.
There you go. Well summarised. So this is the special international town 11. So how it's going to work is Joe, Tom and I have all picked our own starting 11. It has Huddersfield Town players, the current or former Huddersfield Town players, with 11 different nationalities. So these players don't necessarily need to have been called up for their countries, just 11 different countries, and 11 different players. So the rules, so as I mentioned, we'd love for you guys to get involved. We'd love to see which ones, because I'm sure we've missed, we'll probably have missed some players. I'm sure we'll get some tweets like, why didn't you put this guy in? So, Joe, Tom and I have all picked our starting 11s. There's no overlap. So none of our teams will have the same player. So we'll all have different players. And what we're going to do is go through position by position and make an ultimate 11 from our three teams. And then we'll put it to a vote and see what you guys think. And then we'll also put our 11s out on Twitter and you can vote for which one you think is best out of us three, who has the best taste. So to make it a bit easier, all our teams will be playing 4-4-2, the classic. And we'll also have a manager at the end. Now, we've all gone a bit special and made sure the manager is a different nationality to all the players listed as well. And we actually got some good choices. So I think that's it. Are we all ready, chaps? So do we know the rules? Do you think we've explained it well?
I think so, Brady, definitely. Yeah. I would warn all the listeners as well that us three are all of a similar age. So yeah, don't get too angry if we if everyone's a bit too recent, maybe.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, there's no Malcolm Brown from the 30s, I'm afraid.
30s, Brady, that's out of order,
that. Okay. I think we're all ready. So let's start with like I say, we're playing 4-4-2 in this. Let's start with the man between the sticks. Let's go with a goalkeeper. So, Tom, who did you pick as a goalkeeper?
Well, Brady, who did I pick? Indeed, I would argue that this is our possibly the best ever goalkeeper we've had in kind of technique and maybe the most reliable, consistent, and someone I've felt the safest with. I've gone for the Danish number one, Jonas Lossell. What more can I say? What a player, what a goalkeeper. That save at Chelsea, can't do much better, I don't think.
Yeah, we all loved Jonas. Came back as well, didn't he, when we were under Danny Cowley?
He did. Super Danny brought him back.
Super Danny.
They sweet talked him back to town, didn't he? I bet, in his Essex charm.
Yeah. Well, we were in a bit of a difficult moment. I'm probably not as good an impressionist as Freddie. Freddie's was pretty good, to be fair.
Wasn't bad that, Brady.
Thanks, mate. I'm from Essex originally, if people didn't know that.
Right.
So
So
moved up.
You've been doing like a fake northern accent all this time, and
Yeah, absolutely.
That was your real accent then.
Yeah, that's my real accent. But when I go to town games, I'm like, oh, get it forward. That's I actually go even more northern. Okay, so Jonas Lossell, that's a strong choice. How it'll work, listener, as well, is because he's the Danish player, that means if we did pick Jonas, we can't pick any other Danish players in the 11. So there might be a bit of back and forth, but I think that's a really strong opener.
Yeah.
Joe, who do you go for as the keeper?
Yeah, I've gone for man of the season and England's rightful third choice, Lee Nichols. I think he's been absolutely amazing for us. And there's a bit of seriousness to that. I think he's not far behind Sam Johnson, if not better. We all saw what Johnson did against us. Big Lee Nichols.
Big Lee Nichols leading clean sheets, isn't he? I think, or maybe he's up there.
I think he still is leading. Yeah,
he is up there.
In many ways, he's David Hartrick's number one for England. I think that's what that article said. Sod Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale. It's Lee Nichols.
On that front page of the Examiner and everything.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Dave does listen to this. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he said he's the best England goalkeeper of all time. I think it's not my words. You can check Twitter. I mean, Lee's a great show. I suppose we'll name all our choices and then we can get into the debates about who should fit. So I'll go for mine. I've gone for the Welsh number one. I've gone for Danny Ward. He was part of the playoff final winning team. I've got to be honest. I thought, before, I think I've said this before on the pod, before we headed into the playoffs, I think he had a couple of shaky moments, but I love a goalkeeper who can, do well in a penalty shootout. Obviously, Chef Wednesday and also, marathon sprinter clearly after he, saved those pens at Hillsborough. But yeah, he's Wales' current number one. Kept 11 clean sheets in the season we went up. Nichols has kept more, to be fair, in less games, but I don't know. He's gone on to be Wales' number one. To be honest, I think he's a bit wasted at Leicester because I think he'd get in most other teams as a number one, like lower Prem teams, you could argue. So. Gone for the other Danny Ward, not the Danny Ward we all love. So, okay, so we got Lossell, Nichols, and Ward. Who do we think goes in then? Who do you think debates this? So again, this might be a tactical one.
Well, it's Lossell, isn't it? It's Lossell.
Yeah, I was just going to say I will hold my hands up right away. Probably concede to Lossell. Nico's been great, but
you know what?
We don't have the memories with him just yet. They're still to be made.
I wasn't being that forward then. I do think it's closer between Lossell and Nichols. Danny Ward, I love Danny Ward, but in goalkeeping terms, is he? Do you know what Danny Ward was good at? Saving penalties, wasn't he? I feel like he had a few dodgy moments.
I'd agree. If they'd picked him.
I know, but that was the game, Brady. We didn't all want to pick the same person, did we? So it's good for that. I'd say Lossell though, just over Nichols. I really like Nichols though. It's close. Nichols could become my new favourite goalkeeper ever, I think, if he has another season like this season, next season.
This is it,
yeah. I mean, we can do a technicality. Matt sent me his 11, which I'll put out on Twitter, but he picked Gary Roberts because Scout's not English. So I suppose you could technically do the same with Nichols. I think so. Okay, so I think Lossell is probably the best keeper out of them all. I think Nichols is unlucky to miss out, and to be fair, we've not even had a full season with him yet.
Yeah,
I think that's why he just misses out. But that does mean, lads, we're going to miss out on the other Danish players in this list.
Oh well, that's the risk we've got to take. We'll come back to it, maybe, Brady.
We'll come back to it. So are we all agreeing Lossell for the first choice?
I think Lossell for now. If we're really desperate to change, we've got Ward and Nichols on the bench, haven't we?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lossell's locked in then.
Right.
He's locked in. Okay. So we're moving on to right back then. This was a hard one, Tom. You were saying this as well, because
it was.
I think the thing is with a team like Town, obviously you've got a lot of English players. So you want to like save your English player for a good one. I think of like Tommy Smith and stuff like that. But yeah, this was quite hard. Who did you pick there?
Yeah, the when you're scrolling through the list, it's like English for about 2 miles, and then you get everyone else. But I've gone someone not too far from home. I've gone with Steve Jenkins, Welsh.
Okay.
So I can only really just about remember Steve, but he's a bit of a town legend. 250 odd appearances. So I only caught the end of that when he was at Town, that last like 2001 seasons while he was there. Captain Town as well. I just think with my team as well, when we get through it, he's kind of going to bring a bit of calmness to my chaotic back four that I've got. So Steve Jenkins was my choice.
Okay, like it. That Welsh is an interesting one because I think there's an elephant in the room when we come to Welsh players. So. But yeah, okay, we'll take Jenkins. Joe, who did you go for?
I went for Flo Hadajoni.
Super Flo.
Yeah, I'm not super confident he'll make it to our 11. Yeah, because you have to play a bit of a game with this, don't you? And try and think who can I pick to let someone else in. I'll try and justify it by a small period of time where he was actually all right and have a bit of fondness for him. And he seems like a nice guy. Seems like a nice guy. But yeah, I'm not confident my selection will make it to the first 11 on this one. Good
song though. Good song.
Very good song. I was a big fan of the song as well. I forgot to mention
that. Yeah, he was. Do you remember when Kosovo played England and wasn't he playing like right wing and he was actually pretty good?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think he was much better going forward, wasn't he, than defending.
Yeah.
He played a couple of times in the middle and he was all right as well, I thought.
Yeah.
He wasn't terrible. Anyway, Brady, what's your choice?
He wasn't terrible. I would agree, but he was also terrible sometimes.
Yeah.
But to be fair, a lot of players were terrible after that. Anyway, we all know that. Okay, I've gone for Pieper. Throw-ins aside, he was a great player for us last season when we were shit, to be honest. 2 goals, 4 assists. I just think, I think that injury's done him a bit this season, and maybe that's cast our minds. And, I've said before on this pod, Ollie Turton's ahead of him probably at the moment, but yeah. Pippa, when he was in his form, was great. And to be honest, quite an attacking player. Like you, Tom, my full team is actually quite chaotic at the back. And Pippa, who I'd probably include in that, because let's be honest, he's a number 10 sometimes as well as a right back. But if I want to get super tactical, 4-4-2, it's fluid. But I think Pippa, and again, we've not had a lot of Spanish players, to be fair, so that was the other reason. We can debate this, but I think Pippa should go in. I don't know if you guys agree.
I would, because I don't have much memory of Jenkins, and also Pippa at his best. I absolutely love him. Throwing at Nottingham Forest, forgiven, that's in the past.
So I would agree. I mean, Steve Jenkins, what a player, really, like legendary status. But I think also if we're being a bit tactical and planning ahead, I'd say Pieper does just sneak in because there aren't many other Spanish players that I'm thinking I would have in this squad.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're all locked in with Pieper. Or my favourite, his name is actually Gonzalo Gordon.
Gordon.
His name is actually
it's definitely Gordon. It's not Gordon, it's Gordon.
Gordon.
Okay. So we've got our goalkeeper and a right back locked in. Centre backs, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to jump in first.
Yeah.
My first centre back choice, I've gone for John Goran Stankovic, Slovenian. Again, thinking of nationalities and tactical. He was a tidy defender, really. I know he had a couple of hairy moments. I think you think back to that Stoke 5-2 loss, but I think him and Schindler were quite similar players. Anyway, he was quite calm on the ball and he could play in a few positions. I actually think he would have fit quite well under Carlos because he was quite a good ball playing defender, I would say. So I've gone for Stankovic. Joe, who did you pick as your first centre back?
So the first one I actually had down as Zanka.
Okay.
So we've hit our first problem here with the Daning goal.
Yeah.
I had backups. I can chuck a backup in, or should we
No.
just?
I think if Stanka's your first choice, because we can decide.
All right.
We can switch.
All right. Yeah, Zanka. Again, when he was on it, I thought he was really solid for us. Probably dropped away a bit towards the end, but I think a lot of players did, and I don't know if you can blame any individuals too much for that. So yeah, still fond memories of Zanka.
Yeah, bought everyone that pint, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, exactly. A bit of a character.
Yeah. He was really shaky when we signed him, but then he actually formed quite a good partnership with Schindler, I thought. A bit underrated. And to be honest, I think we'll never know, but from the sounds of it, Seaver kind of bombed him out, like same with Billing. I don't know if it was completely deserved. But anyway, yeah, I like it, Zanka. I did like him a lot as a player. Shame he's at Brentford, really, but anyway. Okay, Zanka. Tom, who do you pick as your first centre-back?
Here we go then. Big hitters coming in. Think of the headbands. Everyone get your headbands out because Effie Sodji has returned.
Yes.
What a legend.
Convicted fraudster.
Yeah, he's even got a mugshot. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't really.
You need a badass. Every team needs a bastard. Yeah, and that's what they have in mind.
Exactly. And I just think, right, one of my favourite ever Town goals, right, would be Yeovil 3-1, the 2003 Jacko promotion. Tuesday night, I remember it. And Sodji, right, receives this ball. He's like on the kind of halfway in the defence on our side of the pitch. And this Yeovil striker's running him down, and everyone's a bit like, ooh. And then he just does this, bloody hell, he does this player, makes him look like a right knob. Everyone's telling him to pass it back to Phil Senior. Just big shout out to my favourite Town keeper, though, Phil Senior there.
Favourite Town player ever.
Favourite Town player ever. It's like that Partridge thing. I've just got Phil Senior cutouts stuck all over my wall. Anyway, and like they're having a go at Sodji, and he does this Millwall player with like some sort. It's not a Cruyff turn completely, but does him. All Town fans do this like kind of sarcastic, "Woo!" And then he takes one touch. And he pings this 60-yard ball out to Pav on the left wing. Beautiful ball. Pav, first time passing to Danny Schofield. And then Danny Schofield just chips the Yeovil goalkeeper. And I think we won the game 3-1 in the end. But I just remember that night of being like, my kind of a Sodji memory that sticks out in my head. And then also him going off at a stretcher at Millennium. Was he actually injured, or did he just not want to take a penalty? Who knows? Who knows? But there's my choice, Sodji.
Yeah, that's a great one. Joe, I think we've admitted to this before. Tom, did you wear the headband? Because did you wear the headband?
I actually don't think I did.
There was a real phenomenon around that.
I know. Yeah. My sister had one. I don't think I ever wore it because I was a proper massive Danny Schofield fan, so I was more trying to do my hair like Danny Schofield than anyone else. So.
I won.
You went against the odds.
I had the FA Cup though, so that's something.
Yeah, true. Sorry, Joe, what was you saying?
No, I was just going to say I wasn't no names, but I still remember a person at my first school wearing it every on close day. He'd wear the Sodji headband.
Against all odds. What a legend.
Joe, out him.
No, I can't. That's dangerous territory. I'll tell you after.
I like how his headband was even sponsored because it had primetime recruitment on it. Like
that's how you want to advertise jobs. Okay, so who are we going with? I've got to be honest. Although I like Stankovic, he's not as much of a character as the other two. And I've got a soft spot for Sodji, so my vote would probably be Sodji. Joe,
I'd go for Sodji as well.
Right, okay.
I wish we still had Stankovic to this day, but yeah, in this situation, Sodji.
I think to keep Lossell in net, definitely Sodji. But big shout out to the other two. I really like Zanka, and I think there's one of those, wasn't it, where it was the way he left a few maybe misinterpretations of what the press in Denmark were saying and stuff like that, and he seemed to. It was a bit of a sour end, but I always thought he was decent, and I mean he bought us all a pint, didn't he? Which at the end of the day, pretty good.
He seemed quite. Well, he's done quite a lot of like charity work and, you know, spoken quite openly on racism as well. So he did seem like a sound player. And anyway, we'll never know, will we? But what we will know is Sodji was against all odds. And that's why he's good. That's why he's in the Ultimate 11.
Good Sodji.
Good old Sodji. Joe, who was your second centre-back choice if Sodji's locked in? Do we need to bring a bit, because Pippa and Sodji are quite, you know,
wild cards.
Yeah, I think I've got the perfect guy for it, to be honest.
All right,
Christopher Schindler. I think he's the absolute man to pull a defence together.
This is big, this Joe, because this is one of his first big Germans.
I know this is the thing. We've had so many, haven't we? I just think I have that group of players from like Jacko era that I absolutely adore and idolise, and then the Schindler from that newer generation of players that we had success under, and he's at the top for me. And I think with the defence we've got and the way it's going, I think we need Schindler in there just to pull some shirts and pull people into position, give them a telling off.
Lovely. There's quite. I think me and Tom picked a German player further down the line, but can't really argue with big Chrissy Schindler, can you? So, okay. I think that's a good one. Tom, who did you pick as a centre back?
I don't know. I think you can argue, and I think you can say screw being conservative and trying to sort this defence out, and let's go even more mental and put Michael Hefele in there next to Sodge. Another absolute legend. I wish he'd have played more, but I think it was such a shame he had that injury, and I think he's a little bit underrated, maybe in the sense that I think Town fans kind of forget how good he was in the playoff season. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's kind of overshadowed by him just being injured whilst we were in the Prem, basically. Maybe you never know with what he'd have been like at that level, but he kind of. It was like good cop, bad cop with him and Schindler, really, wasn't it? Hef offered something. Not that Schindler didn't get stuck in, but maybe Schindler did it in a bit more of a sneaky kind of quiet way going about it, whereas Hef was very loud and brash about how he got stuck in and maybe winding up the opposition and stuff like that. So what a legend, and probably scored one of the most memorable Town goals in recent history, didn't he? So fair, great shout, and what a character as well. Okay, so mine's not gonna, in terms of a player, nowhere near those two, but if we've got Sodji and we want to keep the chaos going, Naby Sarr. That's even that would be a mental defence. That
the thing is as well, Naby. Like, I know he can be a bit chaotic and he made a few mistakes, but Joe, how many times last season were we watching matches and he made a goal line clearance for us when we were crap? Literally, I swear, every game.
It got to the point, we were joking about it, and then we started actually counting it. And I think even halfway through the season, it got up to like 4 or 5, and he genuinely saved us goals like that. It was mad. I think he's unfortunate to not be. I mean, it's testament to the other lads, isn't it, how well they're doing? But I do feel for Naby.
Do you know what I really like about him is how happy he still looks, even when, like, at the end of the games, when we win, he'll come on and celebrate with everyone, even though he's been sat on the bench the whole game. And he just looks like a really good team player, which is just awesome, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, definitely.
He, I think I've heard like the young players say like he really helps them settle as well. Like, he seems like a good person. You know, you need those characters, don't you? So and you know, a bit height, and he's always good at a clearance. And I don't know. I think I know he's had his shockers, but I think this season when he's come in, he's actually been quite solid. I know when you think of the Barnsley game and he sliced it into the own net, but like genuinely apart from that, he's looked a lot more solid this season. I mean, anyone's going to look a bit solid when you play against, when you've got a centre back who's not Richard Keogh, to be fair. So okay. So I don't think Naby's going. I think we've got Gushindi, haven't we?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm happy to not argue with that. I was going to say it depends if we want to use up the German. It depends who you two had lined up.
Well, we can come on to that, but I think he's the German for me.
Right.
Like, so Schindler's in, but it could be swapped because I'll throw another German into the mix. Because the defence is quite chaotic when you think of Sojourn. If we did have Naby start, I went for Chris Lowe. Missed a 7 out of 10 every week. You need someone to bring stability and just do a solid job. I was really gutted when he left. I know he wanted to move back to Germany and he's at Dynamo Dresden, and they got relegated, didn't they? But yeah, like, again, really underrated. Like, not as, in an attacking sense, not as good as Toff, but I just think, like, if you got Pippa if we have Pippa on the other side as fullback, I think Lowe would offer some nice defensive. So I went Chris Lowe, but I think we'll see. Joe, who did you pick?
I went for Terence Congolo.
Okay.
Based on that first season, where he looked like an absolute world beater. He was unbelievable. I don't know if it's, how when you think back, memory's a bit distorted and all that, but I don't know. I thought he genuinely looked so good for us, like possibly one of the best defenders I've seen play for us that season. And then something in his head, as well as the injuries, just seemed to switch. It just didn't fancy us anymore at all. Saving grace for him is that we managed to get a decent transfer fee, and then he got injured right after joining Fulham. That's why I've had the confidence to put him in.
I mean, to be fair, 2 million looks great that we sold him for, because he's not played for them at all.
So I just assumed we weren't going to get out. And after his track record,
he was. I know we have talked to death on this podcast about in Benzema and Diakarby, but that is the most, and Pritchard, but that is the most disappointing one for me, because he was absolutely class when we signed him on loan. In that January, he helped us stay up. He was class.
I couldn't believe how we'd actually got him watching him.
I know.
He was in the main team for Holland, wasn't he? Like for the Netherlands. So I just thought. I don't know about you guys, but when we signed him permanently, I was like, even if we go down, we're going to sell him for like 20 plus. We're going to get our money back. Just wasn't meant to be. But I remember when he was class, and when he was class for us, he was arguably, you could say, maybe our best defender. I remember that tackle he made on William. Like, we were losing 3-0, but William was clean
first
through.
game of the season.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I still thought then, at least we've got him, and he's gonna keep this consistency and go for a nice fee for a Prem team. But it is the most depressing signing, because you actually know how much quality was there with him. No, I like it. Tom, who did you go for? Well,
I think left back's going to be
interesting. From possibly 2 of the best Town players we've ever had, like technically with skill, poise, ability, being able to stand on 2 feet. We go to Scotland's best ever left back that never has played for. I don't think, maybe he has. I don't think he has though. I don't think he's played for Scotland. Anyway, my favourite, Mr. Dixon. What a legend. Sum him up in one moment for me. It was, I think, Leeds game we played. The one where we won 3-2 and John Stead scored. Yeah. And all I remember is Paul Dixon gets this ball right, probably just where a left back's supposed to be, and for some reason, he has probably like 60 yards in front of him of free space. And everyone's like, go on. And he starts running and he's like, oh, here he goes. But do you know, like when someone's drunk and they're running forwards and they just slowly start falling to the floor?
Yeah.
Paul Dixon's running with a ball and it's like he's gone over the halfway line and it's like he's got some he's got some sort of tag on where he gets electrocuted after he crosses halfway and he just fell over.
I really don't remember that. That's hilarious.
It's one of my favourite ever moments watching Town, that, because we ended up winning the game anyway, so it was like it was good. But he was a good solid player, wasn't he? And he's just one of those players that you liked because you could he wasn't like he was like a footballer if maybe if any fan who's not bad at football kind of went on the pitch. That really sounds really bad for him, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
The way he kicked a ball, the way he ran, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I really liked him. I think a lot of Town fans probably will have forgotten about him, but I thought in his time, in context and everything, I thought he was very good for us. Well, not very good, but solid. Kind of like a Chris Lever, but League One.
Yeah, maybe even League Two, to be fair.
Okay, so who's getting the nod then, lads, at left back? Who are we going for?
Super Paul.
I mean, it should be Lever.
Yeah, it should be.
I don't know, but
it should be. But then you've got to get out the. You got to take Schindler out. I mean, Congolo. But we're all, so this is the thing, isn't it? We're going off the Congolo that we all thought was amazing, and not Congolo kind of now.
Did he disgrace us as a club enough to?
Well, that's it, Joe. Do we allow him in this? Was it that? Was it like that disgraceful what he did? Paul Dixon is actually going to make this.
The only thing is, because I agree, I think Chris Lowe is the best choice, but if we take Schindler out, who could we have instead? We could have Naby, Stankovic. We could even...
no, not even Hef.
No, not Hef. And then if we had Zanka in, that means we'd have to take Wassel. Yeah. So this is it. This is where it gets tricky, lads.
I think I'd happily allow Stankovic or Naby and to allow Lever at left back. That'd be my stance.
Lever over Schindler there. Ooh.
No, but there are other factors.
I can't see any other Scottish players coming up there. That's
true.
The thing.
And I did like Paul Dixon. Did like him.
Okay, are we going to go Dixon then?
Yeah. I'm keep Schindler in. Yeah.
We're picking Dixon, lads. Here he comes. Up the wing.
This is the other thing. I imagine him
flying Scotsman.
I imagine him to have a proper Scottish accent. I don't think I ever remember hearing him speak, but I imagine him to have a really strong one.
Okay. Yeah, people are screaming at will be screaming at the pod when they hear this. But, you've heard our reasoning. It's tricky. Okay. Dixon's locked in for now. Right midfielder. So I'll jump in. This is the first English pick for me. And therefore the only one. My boy, he's had his England call-up. He's in the current squad. Would have loved him in the first season. The Carlos, Arsenal's current top goal scorer, 9 Premier League goals, Emile Smith-Rowe. Obviously plays a bit of a number 10, but he has played on the wing. He's played as a right winger, quite a versatile player. Loved him. I know people, Matt will roll his eyes when he hears this because he thinks people overrated him, but I think the player he's gone on to be. But he was also great for us when he could play, under Cowling. Yeah. You could clearly see he had the talent. And a bit like Levi, you can tell he's going to go on and do greater things. So, Smith-Rowe for me.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Great shout. Okay, then, Joe, can you top Emile?
Probably another heavyweight. He's going up against a heavyweight for me. Sorba Thomas, I've gone for.
Ooh, that is, yeah.
Couldn't think of anyone better to put in there. I don't think much needs to be said. Everyone listening knows why he's there.
Yeah.
And how he's gone from non-league to Wales international in the space of half a season.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't really talk about that. Sorry, that's a joke we make every week, isn't it, Tom? We should
Never
get a
heard
new
of that
one
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good retort, I would say, Joe. Tom, are you gonna bring another heavy hitter, or are you gonna pick some crap?
No, I don't. I think crap is a bit harsh. Because he's obviously not touching those two, but because of the limited number and kind of tactically trying to pick different internationals. So I've gone for Mustafa Karayol, who is Gambian. 3 goals in 15 appearances for Town isn't a bad stat, I would argue. He was all right on loan, wasn't he? You've got to remember that team he was in. Fucking Ishmael Miller was up front. The first goal he scored for us was an absolute screamer against Rotherham. I think he picked it up like 30 yards out and just wellied it in the top corner. And actually, Ishmael Miller scored that day. Actually, I think it might have been one of his first goals, or when he'd been on a run and everyone went absolutely mental because he scored.
What were we thinking?
But I just think he's skillful, he's strong, and he had a foot on him. Look, he's at Gillingham now, just playing in League One, so he's not touching either of those two. But I had to pick someone, and that's who I've picked. Mustafa, come on, lad.
Okay. Tom, I think it's probably between Sorba and Smith Rowe.
Probably.
Sorry, mate.
Probably.
Okay, seeing as you've not got a horse in this race for the right mid, who do you think wins? Who's your vote going to?
Difficult this. I would actually pick Sorba Thomas over Emile Smith Rowe. I really like Emile Smith Rowe, but if we're saying a right midfielder, I would prefer to see Sorba Thomas there over Smith Rowe.
I'll agree with you, lads. I just tried to squeeze Smith Rowe in, to be fair, because I like him, but I think Sorba's better. So I'm happy to go with Sorba. Are we all happy with that? Yeah. Okay. Sorba makes the list. Okay. So, this is a good team. Maybe minus Dixon, but this is a good team. Sorry, Tom. Okay, centre mids. Who do we all pick? Joe, who's your first centre mid choice?
First one is Dwayne Holmes.
Yeah.
USA.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah, gone for Dwayne. Absolutely loved him when he broke onto the scene as a teenager. I remember like a link-up goal he had with James Vaughan, and James Vaughan, by the way. And I wasn't super convinced when we brought him back, Dwayne Holmes, but I thought he might be a bit of like a lazy player and someone that we carry a bit, but quite often he does put in the effort way more than I thought, and he's been good, I think.
Yeah, agreed. What a guy.
Yeah. And we do have American listeners, to be fair. So
Jerry.
USA, Terry.
Jerry, shout out to Jerry. He does.
We love you, Jerry.
Bought a couple of prints off me, Jerry.
Where's Jerry based?
Alabama, I think.
Alabama.
I think so. Yeah.
Massive Town fan. It is crazy when you like. There's actually Town fans in America. It is crazy.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see, and we love you, Jerry. So we're only teasing you, but you can tease us as being grumpy northern bastards. So, Dwayne, Dwayne Octavius Holmes. Love his Instagram stories. I always say this to you, Joe, as well. Very wholesome. Looks like he's just having his best life with his kid.
I don't follow him actually. That's bad, isn't it?
Oh, you should. It's really great.
It's not bad, Joe. It's not bad that you don't follow him. Don't feel bad that you don't follow Dwayne Holmes on Instagram.
I hope you can't sleep tonight, Joe. I hope you feel that bad about it. Okay.
What a middle name as well, by the way.
Octavius, yeah, great.
Octavius. That's class.
What a name. Tom, who's your first centre mid?
My first centre mid played 27 international appearances for Pakistan. Adnan
No,
Ahmed.
Ooh.
Adnan, what a guy. Here's a stat for you about Adnan Ahmed. Because my what's the word I'm looking for? Research, that's the one, is not very extensive. So I just go on Wikipedia. And it was really weird, right? Adnan Ahmed's Wikipedia is not that long. And half of it was taken up by this stat. And
Okay.
all I thought was it was definitely a Doncaster fan who wrote it. Adnan Ahmed's first red card came as the first ever red card to be given at the Keepmoat Stadium in Doncaster.
Oh, yes.
And it was like, why is that on Adnan Ahmed's page? And it like went into detail about how Town lost 3-0 that day, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Adnan Ahmed is mine. I liked him as a player. He didn't really play that many games for Town. It was like 20 odd games, I think. Or
Really?
40 odd games, sorry. 40 odd games, I think. I always thought he was quite consistent when he played. I thought he obviously liked to get stuck in. I remember he played really well against Chelsea away when we were in the white, all white. I remember that. I thought he played well that day. So Adnan was my pick, Brady.
Fair enough. I like it. Yeah, I think up for debate for sure. I've gone for, this is because Joe's in the Netherlands as we record this. So I've gone for a Dutch player, someone I think deserves more of a look in the current squad. Nicknamed the Professor when he was at Ajax, could offer some great balls. I think he, in all seriousness, I think he should probably get a bit of a run in now in the team. But that's for the preview. Carol Eiting. I think Carol Eiting. If we're not having Terence Congolo, I think Carol Eiting should probably make this team, in my opinion. Great for us last season before he got injured. I know he is a bit injury prone, but yeah, I think he's good. What do we think, lads? Because I have to say, I think maybe Eiting or Holmes, but I'm maybe persuaded to pick Holmes.
I was just going to say I'd submit and go for Carroll just because I'm quite a big fan personally of him.
Okay.
More based on the first time he was with us.
Yeah.
But
was it that first red card at the Keepmoat Stadium that put you off Adnan, lads?
That's a great start, by the way. That's a great start.
It is a great start. We like it. It did put me off because we've got a lot of chaotic players, and if he's going to get a red, we've got Sodgy.
I think there's a plaque up at the Keepmoat now. It's like, I know on the Keepmoat tour, next we've got the first red card received at the Keepmoat was by Adnan Ahmed.
Okay. So what
I
do
agree.
You think, Tom?
I agree. Did we say Carroll? I think Carroll.
Yeah.
Carroll over Holmes. Okay.
I think so. It sounds harsh, doesn't it? That when you actually say it, but
yeah.
No, I'm going Holmes.
Okay.
I am going Holmes because I'm thinking who's coming next and who is getting in this midfield.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I think Holmes would link up better with that player over
Paunovic.
What a legend.
Okay. Holmes then? Are we all saying Holmes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Got
Academy product as well.
Academy product. And I think if we're trying to get in as many continents as possible as well, let's get Holmes in there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we were mean to Jerry, weren't we? So I think we've got to pick an American player.
Yeah.
USA.
What a guy.
Okay. Well, this is my other centre mid choice is ruled out because we've got Lossell. I picked Philip Billing because I really liked Philip Billing. I know he left on bad terms, but he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we saw what he could do against us, when he was playing for Bournemouth at the weekend. And he's played more of an attacking role for the Cherries, and he gets forward and he chips in with goals and he looks great. So I picked Billing, but I don't think Lossell gets shunted out. But anyway, that's for you guys to maybe decide. But I did pick Philip Billing. Joe, because I think I know who Tom's picked. Well, we all know who Tom's is probably going to pick.
No, I think that's Joe's pick, isn't it?
Oh, was it Joe's pick?
Yeah, I'll go first because
okay, you go
there's
first.
no point of me saying my player if Joe's going before.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I have picked Joey Goodjohnson because he'll have the longest name on the team. And it'll just look. I really like Joey Goodjohnson.
Yeah, he did a job for us. He did a real job.
That first season, he did quite well. I remember that first goal he scored at home, a kind of a 30-yard pile driver against Southampton, and just remember the whole ground singing his name, like, "Oh, Joey Goodjohnson." I was like, "Oh, this is nice." We've got a bit of a. Everyone was quite. It's weird with Town fans. I think if you get a player with a bit of an exotic name, I know he's Icelandic, but like it's still quite exotic for Town. Everyone gets a bit excited, don't they? It's like, ooh. It's like when Carol Eighton came back. Oh, the first time Carol Eighton came, everyone was buzzing the tits off, weren't they? Because it was like,
well, they weren't because they were announced after we'd like lost. I can't remember who, but no one gave a shit. And then he actually started playing well, and we were like, "Oh yeah, no, he's good."
But that's mine there, Brady, because I liked him. He's all right. He's all right, lad. But we all know who is getting in this midfield, don't we?
Yeah, I've already wrote his name down. He's already in the ultimate line.
Should we go? Who have you picked his name?
No, go on, Joe. Tell us why. You know, we love him on this podcast, and we can talk about him all day.
Aaron Moy.
Yeah,
good old Aaron Moy.
Yeah.
Living memory has to be the best Town player we've all seen, right? Surely.
Yeah. I was just going to say that he has got to be the best ever Town player ever.
Yeah.
And he was good about signing a new contract, so we'd get a bit of money for him when he left. That. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see.
Joe, favorite Moy memory? I'll let you.
Was it? He scored a free kick away at Wolves, didn't he, in that second season when we were really struggling? And obviously
he got two that day, didn't he?
But I thought this might change things. When I was watching that, I was like, yes.
Yeah,
that'd be it for me.
I remember that because I watched that with Ed, who you know, Joe, our friend Ed, who lives in China now, and we were like, Moy never scores free kicks, was it? And then obviously it goes in. You're like, we just look like idiots.
Scott can play that game as well, didn't he? Or
yeah. That was was it Billing to cross it because he like hit it first time, didn't he? I think it was just outside the box. Yeah.
God, I thought we were going to stay up after that. I thought, this is where it starts.
Well, when you think about that from there, there's the Mooney sending off was the big thing, wasn't it?
Oh, against Brighton.
Because we were playing all right. We were playing all right football. Anyway, that's another.
My favourite Moy moment, just jump in, go at Ellen Road. Okay, cool. Moy's locked in then.
What? We're not even. You're not even going to ask us, Brady.
No, Moy's in. Oh, sorry. Make your case for.
I hope Joe Johnson isn't listening.
Somebody
make your case for Johnson over Moy.
Go on. He has more hair than Aaron Moy.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you hate bald people now, do you, Tom? God, taking the piss out of American people. Now you're after the bald men.
Look, I've had a couple of pints, and I don't care what I say anymore.
I really hope Jerry's not bald as well.
Sorry, Jerry. We're very sorry.
Oh, it was a wig this whole time.
Oh no! Come on. You just sold him some prints. He's going to be asking for a refund if you keep digging it out. Okay, Moy's locked in. Left midfield. Who are we going for? Joe.
I've gone for Malvin Kamara, who represented Sierra Leone once, I think. Represented them once.
What a legend.
Just super fun memories of that era of Town. That's they're my clearest first memories, I think, from that team.
The Casino Red eras.
Yeah.
Joe, favourite Malvin Kamara moment? Was it Accrington Stanley away where he score two that day? And one of them was a proper screamer.
I can't remember.
In front of us, in front of the away end where it was all crappy standing up. think it was pissing it down as well. And oh my God, it was like Malvin Kamara had been possessed by Maradona that day or something. I feel like he took on 2 players down the left, cut inside and walloped it in the top corner.
I can't. Brady, was it you that told me this anecdote about him watching he had a ritual of watching a film before every match?
No, it's James. James was telling us, wasn't he? Yeah.
That'd be my
What film was it? It was
the same film. It was the same
film.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I thought you meant it was like a different film each time.
No.
Let me look. I'm gonna look.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I feel like, was it something silly like Cool Runnings or something like that?
It was something really silly.
Oh,
Malvin Kamara insisted on watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory before every match.
No way.
Yeah, it's real. No, it's real. It's real.
What's the source, Joe?
Yeah, but is that on Wikipedia, Joe?
BBC. It's on BBC and also TalkSport.
Can you tell me when is that article from? And like so he's watched Willy Wonka. Wait, which one? The original Willy Wonka and the Charlie. Willy Wonka and the Charlie Chocolate Factory. I don't think
Willy Wonka and the Charlie is a different film altogether.
We can share a link when this goes out, I reckon.
Yeah, we'll share a link. Okay,
but I'd also like to figure out how many times he's watched that film. Then, if he watches it every time before he plays a game, that is insane.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Oh, that makes me feel sick that he's watched it that many times.
Also, does he love children dying?
Yeah. My favorite part is when the guy drowns in chocolate.
Yeah.
What was it? James described it as like an evil capitalist murders loads of children over the course of a film.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually can't get over that stuff.
Okay.
I might pick him just for that. Go on. Is it me?
Who you going put on?
What are we on left wing now?
Left mid. Yeah.
I hope he was a left mid, but I've put him in. Oh no. Yeah. I've gone for another Dutch player.
Okay.
Rajiv van la Parra is going in for me. I loved him. Got us up the pitch. I think out of all the clubs he's played for, Town has been the best showing he's had. Do you know what I mean? He seems to have fallen out with a lot of clubs and stuff, and I don't know what it was with Town where it kind of just all fell into place for him. He seemed to get on with the fans even when he's left. It was kind of like Town fans always seem to quite like him as well, I think. The majority. Now he's off playing in Greece and he's still only 30-odd-year-old, and it's like, I think that's a bit of a waste, to be honest.
Yeah, he was definitely one of those players that, like, in the second season was made better because he wasn't playing because he was injured. But I did like him.
Yeah.
I mean, he could score a penalty as well, you know. We need that because we've not got a lot of good penalty takers.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you, lads, because I've had a player come into my head while I was thinking about this and it fits my team. So could I have a swap or do I go for my original?
You can do a swap if you want.
Yeah.
I can't believe none of us picked him. Anthony Pilkington. Pilks.
Oh, wow. And Ireland. Counts
Ireland. Yeah, Republic of Ireland. So it fits.
Yeah.
Who was your other player?
So my other player, just because, let's be honest, we're probably never, I mean, who knows? We'll probably never have a player from Luxembourg, Daniel Sinani, just because I think he's a bit hot and cold. And I think if we're going 4-4-2 in a classic formation, you need a player who's a bit hot and cold, player. So
fair enough.
I think we've probably seen enough to maybe take a chance on him and make his move permanent as well, because he could always improve second season. But
agreed.
I'm gonna go Pilks.
Pilks.
I'll throw my hat in for Pilks as well.
Okay.
Well, I guess Pilks, but I've got a massive player coming up who is of the same nationality of Pilkington. I'm going to fight to the death to get him in this team.
Okay.
So let's just see. Van La Parra, great player though. Van La
Parra, yeah. To be fair, and we haven't
I
got
do
or
agree.
Congolo in.
I do. Well, yeah. Let's see what happens later down the line, but I'd say let's go with Pilkington. But I think Van La Parra's on these coattails.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, we will see because there might be a lot of jumping around at the end, but we're on to the strikers. So the last two positions. I'm going to jump in because I think in terms of countries, I think this is probably a shoe-in. Although we've not actually got any English players yet, lads, which is interesting.
There's the manager to come in there.
There's a manager to come, to be fair, yeah. I've gone for Nahki Wells. I love Nahki Wells. Proven goal scorer at championship level as well, and I think he deserves to be in the team. I'd have him back at the John Smiths. Even now, and to be honest, that's our recruitment strategy, isn't it? Bringing back former players. So I love Nahki.
Is he even playing at Bristol City at the moment?
I don't know if I fell out with Pearson. I'll do some live googling
because I haven't seen him pop up for a while saying or on Quest that Nahki Wells scored or anything. He is at Bristol City still, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. He's made 27 appearances this season, and he played against West Brom.
How many has he scored?
And he scored.
How many has he scored this season?
3.
That's not.
Bristol City aren't a good team.
I know, but that's not a very good Nahki Wells return, is it?
No. Well, last season he got 10.
See, that's a bit more respectable in Championship.
But anyway, Nahki for me. I mean, he is. What is he? 31. He's 31 now. But yeah, I think Nahki for me.
Yeah, I love Nahki. I loved him.
Yeah,
huge fan.
I know we love a hypothetical on this podcast. I always wondered what would have happened if we didn't sell him.
We shouldn't have.
Yeah,
that's what we shouldn't have done. We should have given him his
good money there. To be fair,
I mean, at least he only played like a couple of games. But what annoyed me was that his dream, and he said it loads, even when he was at Bradford, and everyone laughed at him when he said it. And like at Carlisle, he came to this country, and it was like to get to the Premier League, and he did do that with Town, and I just wish, and I know there's that whole thing. He was offered a contract and he didn't sign it potentially, but that's all hearsay in it because you don't actually know what's going on in the club. But I thought it would have been because the options we had that season were basically the same, Mooney and Depotre, and there wasn't. I mean, I can't think of unless it was like the youth lads. There wasn't anyone else, was there? Really up front. Colin, because classed himself as a striker, but he could play anywhere really, and he'd do the same job. To be honest.
Yeah, I know Depotre and Mooney were different players, but they were big lads. Like I know Mooney was more skillful than Depotre would work hard, but I do think Nahki was very different, and I would have liked to have seen him as another.
He would have fit well.
Yeah, I just think the amount of times that I said that season. I think a lot of Town fans will have said that season in a game, you could have done with Nahki Wells coming on there.
Last 20 minutes, yeah. I agree. Anyway, okay. So Nahki's in there. Tom, who was your first striker choice?
My first striker, someone who I kind of wish we'd have had him longer, Jermaine Beckford. Kept us up, didn't he? Kept us up this season.
Yeah,
and and that was kind of him coming to the end of his career, and he still showed that absolute quality. Wolves away, I remember what a performance, and then the goal against Barnsley, where it's like, oh, what a day that was! Like, I remember how stressful that day was, and so it was stressful in the ground, and I'm rubbish in games like that. I go in the concourse so many times. I go to the toilet like I need a piss. I can't do this. But the amount of times I went in and looked at what was going on at the other things, and it was like we're going up, we're going down. This team's going up, they're going down. It was absolutely crazy that day.
Yeah.
And then for us to all just sit down, well, that was absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Have you seen the Ian Dowie footage of when he's doing Soccer Saturday
No.
Because if you go on YouTube and search it, it is like, search Huddersfield Town versus Barnsley, Ian Dowie. I'm sure it's on there somewhere, but it's just funny him describing what's going on. And he's like, "Oh, it's 3-2 here, Jeff. All the players are sitting down and all the fans are chanting Yorkshire, Yorkshire." And that was hilarious. That we were all singing together, because I don't think you'll never get that again in a stadium where both kind of fans, like, not even because it wasn't in a jokey way or anything. It was in like a togetherness kind of way. And I will say this now. I hate Peterborough, and I loved it. I loved it that we sent them down that season.
But luckily they've got over it. You know, they never mentioned it. So.
We haven't. I'll happily say, of all the football teams in the country, Peterborough are top of my list of teams that I like to see doing badly.
They're up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I love how that went from Beckford to you hate Peterborough. Fair enough.
And that is why I picked Jermaine Beckford.
Joe, who's your striker choice for your first one?
I've gone for Pavel Abbott.
Oh.
Okay.
Because of the chant, because of his goals.
Yeah.
What a guy. Pavel Abbott.
Absolute lovely man.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's won that's Poland under 21 cap.
Yeah. There's a pathway there. Okay. So who goes in then?
It's difficult, that one, I think. So Pavel Abbott, love him. Probably my favourite out of the choices. Naki Wells, great player.
Yeah.
If we're going off, the best striker out of the three, it probably is Jermaine Beckford. But I would pick Pavel Abbott.
Okay. I think I agree with you, but Beckford did his best work at Leeds, you would say, probably, of the clubs. I know he was great for us. And I know, I don't know. I think Pavel.
Yeah.
I like Naki. I like Naki a lot. I think Naki is very much behind it, like very close. But I think we've got to go Abbott, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good chant. What a guy. What a guy. Yeah. Put him in there.
Abbott it is. Okay. Now, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to you.
You want me to go first this one, do you?
Because you said you're going to fight to the death for Anthony Pilkington to go out for this striker. And I'm setting you up because I love him in a silly way. But if you're trying to get Pilkington out for this guy, take it away.
Look,
go on, give me your reasoning.
Look, right, we've got Van La Parra sitting in the wings waiting. And at the end of the day, right, one of the main things about supporting Town is that you can have a laugh at who's playing for him. We've got Paul Dixon in the side. Look, we've got Paul Dixon.
True.
And I am putting this name forward strongly. And I'm going with Alan, middle name Alan, last name Lee. What a legend. Probably my hero, if I'm being honest. Do you know what? Do you know why I loved him so much? Because what was he at Town for, maybe 3 seasons? Yeah. But from the off, exactly. We'll get to that later. From the off, right? He gave 100%. He loved the club. He loved the fans. He just loved it. And whenever he scored, he celebrated like it was his last goal he'd ever scored.
Yeah.
The lap of Lee was one of my favourite things after a game. Especially if he scored, it was like he's gonna basically go around every seat and shake your hand. But even if we'd lost, he'd make sure he'd clap all the players. I'm throwing stuff on the floor. I'm
You're too excited, mate. Calm down.
Thinking about Alan Lee again and how much I loved him. What a player. Elbows, right? What a shithouse. That one on Alex Bruce is possibly one of my all-time favourite moments at Town. Like, he done Alex Bruce. Did he got Alex Bruce sent off whilst elbowing Alex Bruce, which was awesome. My second favourite Alan Lee elbow was Brentford at home, where we got a corner and we'd scored from it, but their keeper was going mad like, ref, did you not see that?
Yeah.
Because Alan Lee had basically pushed him into the goal whilst he was holding the ball.
I was going to mention that one.
At the end of the game, Joe, do you remember? I remember watching it back and on Sky, the guy's like, what do you think it was a foul? And he's like, the keeper's got to be stronger there. He's got to be stronger.
Yeah. I think that was the last goal in the world where a goalie was bundled into the net and it still stood. You just don't see it now.
It's now called the Alan Lee rule. Like,
Exactly.
That's why they
he also scored away at Arsenal, didn't he, Brady?
Yeah, he did.
We were there.
We were there, yeah.
We were there in that corner where he ran to.
Yeah. Of all the time to score your first goal, because it was like we'd signed him and there was such like this guy's played for some big clubs. Oh, he's gonna do us a job here. And then he didn't score for ages, did he? And the fact is that was his first goal. Yeah. Literally looked like he was crying when it went in.
And we were robbed there as well. We were robbed.
We were. Was
that Fabregas dive or was it Bentner? I can't remember.
Bentner dived.
Bentner, that's it, yeah.
So I just think
I remember that joke because we left at 5. Sorry, Tom. We left at like 5 in, and I remember what were we must have been like 15 or 16. Yeah, and we were drinking, and obviously like, I'll have a can of, I'll have like 4 cans of lager at like 5 in the morning. And I remember being hungover for the game, and the game was like 1 o'clock or something.
And that, do you know what? Who gave you that memory of that day, really? That's true. Alan Lee. That's so true. Okay. There you go. Right. Elbows, headbands, goals, lap of Lee, being Irish, fucking legend, loved town. What more can I say?
I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Yeah.
Okay. I can't fault your passion. Joe, who did you pick?
Steve Mooney.
Oh, Steve.
I love Steve. I do love Steve, Tom.
I don't think I can follow up Tom's pitch though, to be honest. But we all know why Mooney is in there.
Yeah.
Steve's
loves
up there,
chicken.
He's up there as a character, isn't he? Apparently he absolutely loved town, didn't he?
I was gutted when he left. I was gutted when he left. Really sad.
He loved his chant, just like Alan Lee loved his chant.
Yeah.
So there's another two. A lot of comparisons between these two, I think.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll pitch for you, Joe. And I'm pretty sure I've heard this is confirmed from sources. He hated Leeds fans. So, like, he was at Marston's Chicken, and this is quite a few, who knows, but I've heard from sources that he did actually give Leeds fans a bit of stick, but a Leeds fan asked him for a picture at Marston's Chicken, and then he said, as he was getting it, he was like, I support Leeds, and he just went, oh, fuck off then. And he loved it, and I love the picture of when they go to the fire station and he's in the fire truck.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And the video of him in it where he's doing ole, ole, ole. Like, so he loved that. He loved his chant. And just another one for Alan Lee. I'll put my number 2p.
No. See, he's scared. He's threatened. He's threatened because he knows it's a good one.
One of my favourite Alan Lee quotes, though, Brady, it was in the Examiner after he'd scored a goal, and it was like, and just to hear the fans singing my name to Daddy Cool gets me every time. Like, what a legend.
That's good, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, Mooney, I loved Steve. And I've said this before, if we'd have played to him properly, like I am convinced, people can say, oh shit, he wasn't that good, he didn't try. I'm convinced if we played to him properly, 20 goals a season in the Championship, 100%. 100%.
I think
imagine Sorba on the end of his...
that's the one.
Sorba's crosses for Steve Mooney.
I agree, yeah.
That's the one. That is the one. I'd love to put him in this season with Sorba Thomas.
Yeah, I would. Just as an option. Anyway, Steve, we miss you. We miss you. Scored more goals than Messi this season in the French league as well. So
Fucking
Take
legend.
that. Absolute legend. Messi's only scored 2. Doesn't matter though, does it? Mooney has got more.
Yeah.
Messi can only score penalties. We all know that.
Exactly.
He's
What do they call him?
Pessy.
Penel Pessy. Pessy. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, my choice. Not a character as much, but I loved him. He was a lovely man. He did a lot of great community work for the club when he was here. I think we all loved him. Elias Kachunga. Absolutely loved him. Just a good man.
Yeah.
Another
great chant.
That promotion season where he did play striker alongside with Naki, he was great. And I actually thought he was brilliant and scored quite a few goals. And he always, I think whoever we're putting in as the other striker, he's going to do the hard yards and really work hard for the team. I know it didn't work out with him towards the end, and but I think till he had that injury in the Prem, I thought he was great. And he looked, I'm not saying he looked like he was a Premier League player, but he looked like he would be, like he was going to be decent and still kind of give it his all, and then he got injured. And he can go, he can go in other positions. I loved Elias Kachunga. I'd look, not that he'll listen to this, but if he ever wanted to come on the podcast, I'd love to chat to him, because just what a man. Not a character like Alan Lee or Steve Mooney, but just a lovely bloke from everything you hear and so.
I disagree there, Brady. I think he was. I think he loved Town as much as the other two. He appreciated the fans loads. He got involved with everything, didn't he? He's part of that group that brought such a good connection back to Town. And I think he was a character, because he was fun, wasn't he? There's some of his celebrations. Remember when we beat Derby in the last minute? He went mental that day.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he looked like, I can't remember which Derby player it was, but it looked like he was just going to run straight through him to celebrate with everyone else.
That goal, do you remember when in the season under Cowley? Do you remember when he scored finally after, I think it was the 3-0 win against Hull at home? I was at it. And just the pure relief, he cried, he cried when he scored. And I was just I thought, oh, go on, Elias, kick on now. And unfortunately, he didn't really kick on. But I loved him, man. Great.
Agreed.
But who's going in then? Who's our final striker? It's going to be interesting as well, because we've not picked any English players yet.
No.
I personally vote we have a reshuffle and get Alan Lee in and
bloody hell, Joe.
Put Rajiv at left wing.
Wow. This is really. So, what do you think, Brady? You go next.
Yeah.
Oh well, what do we go next?
What's your vote? No, what do you think on this decision?
I think Steve. I love Steve.
You think Steve?
I think Steve.
So
he was
me.
He was our Prem striker.
It's down to me to get in the player that I wanted.
Oh, I don't think.
But
right, okay.
Well, look, Joe's gone. Brady, just hear me out. You let me finish sometimes, Brady. Look, Joe's gone with Alan Lee, Brady. So it's not me you need to be having a go at right now. Anyway, I was just going to say, Brady, before you rudely interrupted, that after your argument of kind of he does a lot of work for everyone else, etc. The Mooney and Alan Lee up front with Pavel Abbott, I don't think works particularly well, because I think Pavel Abbott is he was quite a lackadaisical kind of player. He didn't particularly work hard, but moments of absolute brilliance, the way he could finish a ball was amazing. And does Kachunga work better in that front two over the likes of Lee and Mooney? Granted, though, Alan Lee did work hard. And I think Mooney worked hard as well, but just because he was a bit slow.
To be fair, do we have a reshuffle then? Do we take Abbott out and put Nicky or Jermaine in? That's the question. And actually, lads, we haven't come on to managers yet, but we've got no English players. And I feel listeners will be screaming at whatever device they're listening to now, because we are forgetting Town's best ever striker.
I know.
The English, Andy Booth. Booth.
But that's all I'm going to say for me is that I've got a manager in mind, and that is why. So no one can blame me for my choices. It's on you two.
I mean, again, Lewis isn't in here. We could do a shuffle.
You've set me off thinking about a Beckford and Lee partnership up front, and I'm loving it.
Oh, that sounds nice, doesn't it?
I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Right. So what we say? So we've got Pav. I'm going with Kachunga. I'm putting Kachunga in.
All right. Yeah. Let's.
Kachunga. Okay, not Mooney. Yeah. I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
Kachunga with Pav for me. I'm really sorry, Alan, because I actually think Alan Lee listens to this podcast religiously. So I'm really sorry that I fought your corner and then I've bottled it and gone with Kachunga.
If we do subs, Alan Lee's the first sub.
First sub.
Yeah, he is. I just loved him so much.
Did you love him, Tom? I didn't get that.
The last of a dying breed that man was.
Yeah.
For football.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk managers now, and then we can possibly have a reshuffle, and then we'll get a final 11. Okay. So, right. My manager was Scottish, but we've got Dixon. And again, probably for not what he did at Town, but what he went on to do. But Bill Shankly, for me. Obviously a legend at Liverpool, but this is a Town international 11, so up for debate. So I think I'm already giving you an out there, but Bill Shankly, one of the greats. What's the quote that everyone wrongly gets wrong all the time? What is it? Football's more important than
football is a game played with a ball. And if you score more goals, you win. Was that him or something like that?
Yeah. Wise man. No.
I do know which one you're alluding to, Brady.
Yeah, it's the one everyone uses. It's like
this is one big step for football and one small step for mankind. That's what he said, didn't he?
He said as he landed on the
moon. Well, that's the other thing about Shankly, isn't it? Best football manager on the moon.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Like that's where he basically was that after Liverpool he went to the moon.
Yeah, I think so. He was like, when those managers get when Sten went to was manager of Thailand for a bit, and it's like you're really working. It was the same with Shankly. Yeah.
Shankly was manager of the moon.
Yeah, Moon FC. Okay, Shankly.
Wikipedia's a great source.
Yeah.
Joe.
Oh man.
Who did you pick? Because I think it's a nationality clash if we did go with your choice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit. It was a high challenge to come up with this one. King Carlos.
Yeah, El Jefe. El Jefe. Okay, yeah. Why do you think Carlos? Do you think this is a Carlos team?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it is. I'd picked Carlos because I had Nicholl as my number one, and I could only think of English managers, so I had to go for Carlos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if this is his team. I don't know if this is Carlos's team. I think we need an old school manager for this team.
Oh, and have I got an old school manager for us?
Look at that for a segue. Go on.
But I would say, lads, after my choice, because this team's lined up nicely, that we could all pick an English manager if you've got another person in mind.
That's true.
You could throw them into the ring. But I would say, who better to manage a team full of kind of a bunch of ragtags and randomers than the man who did it for us back in 2003, brought us back from basically nothing. We were going out of business. We were going to die. And he turned it around for us. My favourite ever Huddersfield Town manager, Peter Jackson. Yeah. Oh, what a man. What a man.
What a guy.
Just a great man. So my favourite thing about Peter Jackson was not that he was just a great manager. What a little team he had as well. Terry Orriff, legend. Yeah. But I used to be in the old Young Terriers, it was called. So a big shout out to the Young Terriers crew. That was a great institute. They used to put football on for us before a game, and we go to the game. But we had these big end of season parties, and throughout the time we did that, during those Peter Jackson times, that's when you knew how much of a legend he was and how much he kind of cared more about the community rather than the football. He would make sure that every player would go there and they'd spend a really good amount of time there. Like the players didn't have to come to those parties. Do you know what I mean? And he would go out his way, make sure to go there, he'd do a big speech he'd give the awards out, these little awards he did at the end of season. And then kind of after he went, it was a few players had turn up now and again and stuff. But I just think if anyone's going to take a team like that and get them playing football for Huddersfield Town as well,
absolutely,
it's Peter Jackson.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think
after the Cowleys got sacked, my granddad was calling for Peter Jackson to be brought back, and I'd have fucking loved it.
Joe, I'd love it. Give him it next when Carlos goes, because Carlos will go eventually. Just give it Jacko, because imagine how fun that'd be.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see him part of the club again, like with Duvios in some role. Get Jacko.
He's there quite a bit of match days, I think, isn't he, Jacko? Like he's always coming out and doing the halftime draw, and like I think he's like not every week, but I think he's in the boxes, for the entertainment.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
I saw him loads. I saw him loads at the away games in the Prem. Like I saw him about 5 times, and I think I was quite drunk every time. And every time I said, Jacko, I fucking love you, man. Yes, you're my favourite Town manager. Probably thought, not you again, bloody hell.
It's the 5th time you told me. Okay. So lads, I'm just thinking with managers though. This is a technicality because technically he is capped by America. We could get Wagner in and take Holmes out.
Yeah.
I'm completely sold on Jacko, to be honest.
Okay, Jacko.
Jacko it is.
As good as Shankly was, give me Jacko.
Yeah. You know what? Shankly might have been to the moon. But he didn't sort Huddersfield Town out after almost going into administration, did he?
Okay.
I know James, another guest on this pod, will be cheering that decision from home. He will.
Although I did think of someone James would definitely pick potentially.
Oh, Warney. It's got to be Warney. You said about getting Jacko back.
Yeah.
Genuinely, if you talk, like, when we were, I've got to be honest, I think when we lost 5-1 to Fulham early in the season, people were saying, if it goes bad, get Warnock in. Not a ridiculous shout, but Jacko's got to get it. But
Peter Jackson's Barmy Army.
Okay, if we're confirming Jacko as manager, though, means we can't have Andy Booth. Means we can't have Lewis O'Brien. Yeah. Are we happy with that?
We're happy that they were. Look, right.
Yeah.
Andy Booth is town legend.
Yeah.
But this was difficult. Because we all had to pick players that weren't overlapping. We all had to try and make sure we found players that fit in. And I'm sorry, Bouvet, but it was international players, so we only had one English choice. And I'm gonna say mine was Jacko's. I don't know about these two, Bouvet. They left you out if you're listening.
Whoa. Okay. If my I'm like the meme trade-off there. Wagner's technically American.
Yeah.
Can I swap your Holmes for O'Brien in the 11? Would you take that?
No.
No, you're keeping Dwayne in. It's got to be Jacko.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Jacko because I just think out of all the managers we've ever had, Jacko was dealt the most random hand of kind of players. And if you're going to throw any manager in the deep end, give it Jacko till end of season.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we happy with the team? Shall I read it? And then
go
we
on
can
then, Brady.
confirm if we're happy. Okay.
Let's go for it.
So this is our ultimate Town 11, international 11.
Yeah, joint there. You've got
joint, and we'll put our teams out to a vote and see.
Yeah.
Okay. So in net, we've got Jonas Lossell.
Yeah.
Pieper as a right back.
Mm-hmm.
Effie Sodji as the first centre back, alongside Christopher Schindler.
Against all odds.
Dixon. Scottish.
Flying Scotsman.
Solid player.
Solid player. Sorba Thomas. Dwayne Holmes. Aaron Moy. Pilkington. Anthony Pilkington. Powell Abbott. And Elias Kachonga.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that 11.
I think people will definitely say you could have picked better players, but like Tom said, it's about compromising and getting the fit.
Maybe listen to the episode before you have a go at us.
Yeah.
I'll clip that and we'll use that.
Then aim all your comments directly at Tom.
Yeah. So it's at Tom Bradshaw.
It's actually at Thomas Bradshaw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you heard. Again, we'll leave Mooney, not swapping him.
Brady, we've done it. Stop trying to make this episode last longer than it needs to be.
Okay, fine. So the confirmed, it's locked in. Lossell, Pippa, Soji, Schindler, Dixon, Thomas, Holmes, Moy, Pilkington, Abbott, Kachunga, manager, Peter Jackson, Jacko.
Jacko is our king.
Yeah. That team picks up points.
Yeah.
It at least finishes 14th in the championship.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. We'll see what people
Alan
think.
Lee on the bench.
Alan Lee on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt was late to jump on, but he has sent me his team. He's even sent subs because Matt loves to prep.
Yeah.
So I will post that out on Twitter for you all because this is overrunning.
Yeah.
But just before we go, lads, the sun's been out, which means there's only one thing. Yep, it's a special international hot takes.
Big bleep hot, mate. Big bleep hot, mate.
So yes, this is hot takes, the part where you share your spicy opinions you have about Huddersfield Town with your reason why, and we'll debate it on the pod. Hot takes are anonymous. Don't forget to email Brady at takesthatchance.com for a chance to be featured. Right, lads, you may have seen Sam Johnson was called up to the England squad. There's been a lot of comparisons with Lee Nichols. Sam Johnson dropped out and they recalled Fraser Forster, who hasn't had an England cap for 7 years.
What?
Shocking. Yeah, okay. So the hot take is about our goalkeeper, Mr. Nichols. I don't get why fans are begging that Nichols should get picked for England. He's nowhere near the other keepers unless we get promoted. In terms, I think they're referring to Ramsdale and Pickford here.
Right.
Plus, why do we want him to be third choice so bad?
Did Matt write that one?
He didn't. Although he tried to, I had this debate with him and he tried to say Tom Heaton was better than Lee Nichols.
Yeah, lost.
Oh, Matt.
Third choice keeper at Man U.
I'll concede now that he's not near Pickford and Ramsdale.
Yeah.
But
100, after that, I don't think there's much in it. And I think to say just because he's playing in the Championship and not the Premier League is a bit short-sighted and a bit old school.
Because how does Sam Johnston get in there? Do you know what I mean? It's
like Sam Johnston gets in if we want to be boring. He says wearing his England shirt. Sam Johnston gets in because he's been part of the setup for England.
Yeah.
And he has been capped. And he's not going to play, is he? Like really, it's going to be Pickford or Ramsdale. I mean, you've got Nick Pope as well. To be fair, I know he's not been great for Burnley, but I think Pope is ahead of Nichols as well. I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, David Hartrick, he wrote the article on it. I know everyone, he was done dirty by the headline, as he claimed. Nichols has been better than Johnson. So if you judge him compared to Sam Johnson, Nichols has been better in every stat. Every stat you want to delve in and compare them to. He's been better than Johnson this season.
Yeah.
I don't think he's at England level yet. I think that's no disrespect. He's had an amazing season for Town. I think I'm caveating this. I think he's our player of the season. I think he wins that, easily for me. But it's only been one season. It's not even a full season yet. I think if he does this next season, I think he's probably got a stronger case because Southgate's not afraid to dip into the Championship.
The only thing that isn't on his side, Brady, is his age, I guess. He's 29.
Yeah, but that's young for a keeper, isn't it?
It is. But do you know, I kind
brought
of...
into the setup, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It is, but I just, when you list the keepers that, the options that England actually have, he has got to be at least 7th in the pecking order. So yeah, like you said, Pickford, Ramsdale, they're your top two. Then it's probably Pope. And I'd see that's it though. From there on, from Pope onwards,
Yeah.
Butland doesn't even get a look in anymore, does he? Kind of.
No.
Johnston, I mean, we saw what he's like. But both the Town goals were, in reality, against West Brom, both the Town goals were his fault. He should have either the second one, he's got to be catching that or parrying it away from danger. Then Forster, I quite like Forster as a keeper, to be fair.
Yeah,
I think he's quite a good keeper.
Yeah.
But
I just think for friendlies, why not have a third choice that's someone new to the setup?
Yeah.
But we probably are getting ahead of ourselves, and we just want Nico to get a bit of recognition. I think that's
we just
probably
want
driving a lot of this.
call up, don't we?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
So it would be great. And the hot taker has said, why do we want him to be third choice? Well, he's been amazing this season. I think he might not get capped, but just to be invited to train with England and be in the setup, I think that he would deserve that based on how he's played this season. So that's why we want it.
And England's number 3 would be quite a funny chant every week as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Think of the chant. Okay, just quickly before we leave, there's an article here which ranks England's 12 best goalkeepers. So I'm just going to read you the keeper, and if you say Nicholl's or the player in question.
All right, okay.
That's good. Right. Number 12, Tom Heaton. I think Nicholl's. Because his third choice, he's not getting game. Okay. Joe Hart, playing for Celtic.
Nicholl's now.
Okay.
Nicholl's now.
Current ability.
At this moment in time, Nicholl's.
At this moment in time.
Nicholl's.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Joe Hart's playing Europa League, was. Okay. Yeah. The hipster's choice. I think Matt named this, but Matt, I'm calling you out on this. I don't think you've seen this guy play that much. Etienne Green plays for Saint Etienne. He's their first choice keeper. He's 21.
Don't know. He's English. He's English, and he's been playing for them though. 21.
Yeah. Etienne Green for Saint Etienne.
That's good. I know. Great.
That's brilliant. Okay.
Mate, he sounds like a prospect.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good on Football Manager, which is my sphere of reference. So there you go. Ben Foster. Is Nicholl's better? I think Foster's probably.
No, I actually think Nicholl's is a better keeper than Ben Foster now. At the moment in time, yes.
I love that.
I now and again watch those Ben Foster's YouTube videos. He's too bothered about his YouTube likes now.
Okay.
Goalkeeper.
Fair enough. Alex McCarthy. Southampton. I don't think he's that good.
Foster, Nicholl's. Yeah.
Just throwing a different keeper in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicholl's.
Carl Darlow, Newcastle. I
actually think he is a good keeper, Darlow. But
he's underrated.
He's close to Nicholl's. I'd say just a bit better than Nicholl's.
Yeah, he doesn't start for Newcastle. It's Dubravka anyway, isn't it?
But if Carl Darlow was, I'd take him as a Town keeper. You know
okay,
I mean?
fair enough.
Yeah.
Forster.
I think he is better than Nicholl's.
Yeah.
Sadly, he's huge as well, and he's absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam Johnston. I think on current form, Nicholl's is
Current
better.
form, Nicholl's is better.
The stats don't lie. Ask David
Stats
Hartrick.
do not lie.
Okay. Dean Henderson, second choice. So I think Dean Henderson's a better keeper, but he's not getting games. You've got to pick someone who's getting games.
Yeah,
I agree.
So but Henderson, I will say on record, is a better keeper than Nicholl's. But I'm not knocking you, Lee. Like I said, you play of the season. Nick Pope.
Well, is he playing now again finally or not? Okay.
Yeah. He's playing quite a bit.
He is playing a bit now, but it's not Burnley aren't as good as they used to be defensively.
Well, I think Pope's better than him. Unfortunately,
probably is. Yeah, it must be a tough deal being the goalkeeper as well.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other two are Ramsdale and Pickford, who we said are better. So really, what are we saying? Ramsdale, Pickford, Henderson. Are we agreeing Henderson's better? Yeah. Well, some of us are disagreeing. Okay. Yeah. Forster's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4.
Pope's better.
5. So what, 6th or 7th choice?
Yeah. 6th or 7th, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Pretty good. It's a shame England B's not around anymore. Because Nicholl's would be for that. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think we'll leave it there. So that was a good one. Okay, nice to just go through all the England goalkeepers. David Seaman.
He was better than Nicholl.
No. Anyway, Yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that one. We hope you guys enjoy it too. Thanks to Joe and Tom for coming on. Thanks to you guys for listening. And always, thanks to Magic Rock for sponsoring this podcast. And congratulations to our competition winner. We will be doing more competitions for some of the home games, so do keep your eyes peeled for that.
Brady,
And
what's the code? Because I'm low on me beers. What's the code again for the?
oh, lovely, Tom. It's AHTTC10.
Oh, nice.
So Annie takes that chance abbreviated. So AHTTC10. You can enter that online and you get 10% off all online purchases. Look at that. So in fact, we're going to go sing some Magic Rock beers, get the orders in, and Tom and I will be back to preview the Hull City game. So actual football. So that'll be an interesting one. So ta-ta for now and up the town.
There's a team that is dear to its followers. The colours are bright blue and white. They're a team of renown, and they're the pride of the town. And the game of football is their delight. And all the while upon the field of play, thousands loudly cheer them on the way. Often you can hear them say, who can beat the town today? And then the bells will ring so merrily, and every goal shall be a memory. So town, play up and bring that cup back to Huddersfield. So town, play up and bring the cup back to Huddersfield.